Hey yo guys, I'm back here to make a special little video as wasn't planning on doing anything up until probably tomorrow. I was gonna bring you my UFC fight night predictions, my Victor Archinian fight predictions, as well as a TNA against all odds, as I was gonna wait till after Impact, which is about to air in a couple minutes or so. But then I found out some breaking news that took place earlier today, and that is the fact that, well, the Elite XC contract controversy has finally been finished, as Scott Coker and the StrikeForce promotion have bought the rights to the fighter contracts, the video library, but as well they get to now as well be on Showtime and eventually down the line on CBS, as CBS and Showtime are still interested in mixed martial arts. And if you've still been watching Showtime's Championship Boxing or ShowBox The New Generation, you noticed they were kind of plugging the Affliction pay-per-view a little bit, which kind of surprised me that they didn't even make it. They didn't make an attempt to maybe bring Affliction in. But now they got StrikeForce, and to me, StrikeForce, Scott Coker, more or less, he's the man that got the rights to Elite XC now. Is the perfect man to have this. For those of you that don't know about the StrikeForce promotion, it's regarded a top 5, top 4 promotion in the realm of mixed martial arts, but it doesn't really make that much noise. It's aired on HDNet a couple times, and they did some co-promotion stuff with Elite XC. You'll mostly remember the fight that took place during WrestleMania weekend last year between Frank Shamrock and Kung Lee for the middleweight championship there, for which was StrikeForce's belt. StrikeForce, they mainly based themselves in San Jose, as that show took place in San Jose in the HP Pavilion, but they've also run shows in Denver, Colorado, Fresno, Colorado, Seattle, or Tacoma, Washington. Seattle or Tacoma, I can't remember, but somewhere in Washington State, as well as they've run the Playboy Mansion twice. So to me, just that they actually have broadened themselves out there, but the fact StrikeForce's Scott Coker has been able to run a company pretty strong, not try to go too head to head with the UFC, knowing that he wouldn't have 2 feet to stand on. But to me, he's the perfect guy. He's a smart businessman that now he's given the keys to basically they are officially now the new number 2 mixed martial art promotion in the world. Have the CBS and Showtime type deals with them. So to me, that's very interesting. Plus, they still have Gina Carano, Kimbo Slice, Jake Shields. The first fight card, which is actually now supposed to take place on Showtime, is going to be headlined by Frank Shamrock, as Frank Shamrock will return from his first fights back since he lost to Kung Lee. And you got Hands of Steel Smith versus Benji Radek, who is a guy that Boss Rutan believes that has enough power to knock out Anderson Silva. And Benji Radek did prove that on the final Elite XC primetime show when he dominated Marilla the Ninja Hua. So to me, I'm just really excited about it, as I think Coker will do a much better job than Jared Shaw or whoever you want to say was running Elite XC, because they were their whole that promotion was, we're number 2, we have enough dynamics, but we're not going to make, he won't make the stupid business mistakes, i.e., buying, the Cage Rage, the Icon Sports, or not Icon Sports, I believe it's, yeah, maybe Icon Sports, whatever, those smaller little European promotions, King of the Cage, etc., that's just wasting money there. I've been through this when the Elite XC is dead video, and the office where, Elite headquarters were, the Pro Elite headquarters were, I mean, like $950,000, a month on rent for that whole place. I mean, when CBS executives went there, to work out a deal, they're like, fuck, this is better than our freaking office. I mean, holy crap. And also, I don't think Coker is going to spend, like $5 million on a website. And not only that, the product-wise pushing, I think Coker's going to push, the talent that deserves be pushed. I think he's going to use Kimbo Slice, to be pushed, but have him as, like a mid-card or a main, an attraction, not the whole show. You don't hype a whole show around this man who, really didn't have the proper amount of training, but that's just my opinions there. I'm just really excited for this, as now there's more competition, and I think Dana may have something to worry about with the likes of Coker running things. I'm really excited for this card, and there's apparently, the quarterly show is supposed to take place with CBS on with StrikeForce, And the thing that is still kind of cool is, for those of you that don't know, is StrikeForce already has kind of a TV deal. They have a TV deal with NBC, and a lot of people believe that, you know, once Elite XC signed with CBS, when StrikeForce signed with NBC, they were going to go prime time as well, but that didn't play out as they were showing older StrikeForce type shows, and they put them on, you know, in like the 2 a.m. time slot. But Coker, being such a brilliant promoter, they've actually been getting strong ratings. They've been getting, like, you know, 1.4. I believe the highest they got was 1.4. I mean, they've been like 1.1, 1.2 to, you know, your 0.5s, 0.7s. For which, you know, way after the slot on a Saturday night, or Sunday morning, I should say, that's a pretty impressive rating. So I'll give Scott Coker a lot of credit for that. And, you know, this still will have, you know, their talent, you know, your Gilbert Melendez's, your Frank Shamrock's, obviously, your Joe Riggs's. Still, I mean, I think I'm really excited to see where this promotion can go. Really looking forward to April 11th, and I think another interesting thing is their first show on Showtime is April the 11th, which is the weekend before UFC 97 in Montreal, Quebec. So I think that's real smart, because you know the UFC will not be putting on a live show to go head-to-head or anything like that, but I don't think they would have, since this is Showtime, and it's, you know, I believe Showtime in the States is a specialty type channel. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm just excited about this. As you really can tell, I'm just passionate about, you know, there's some viable competition, as I felt Elite XC had all the keys to be that right there with the UFC. It's just they had morons running the company that didn't know what they were doing, making horrible business. And clearly, I think StrikeForce won't do the other thing. Like, you know, StrikeForce can promote the show months in advance, I should say. Elite XC would just promote a show a week before. How are you supposed to sell tickets to that? How are you supposed to get people who, you know, aren't fans of this promotion to, you know, flip over and know about that? You have to be a hardcore fan to know about this, you know, thing on television. So that's just my opinion there. And Showtime now, the Showtime Sports is still looking strong, as you know. Showtime Championship Boxing and ShowBox the New Generations is some excellent stuff there as well. And I'm looking for Vic Darchinyan's fight this weekend. So that's my thoughts there. I guess moving over to another realm of MMA quickly, didn't really get to voice my opinions on the whole VaselineGate controversy is what they're there. To me, this is unfortunate for someone like George St. Pierre. As we all know, George clearly dominated BJ in the fight. And I don't think the pen camp's really taking that aspect away, but they're saying there maybe was hindered by the fact, you know, there was Vaseline put on there. And I know that Keith Kaiser, who's, you know, part of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, one of the things that he and Dana White discussed is the fact that, you know, Greg Jackson and I can't remember the other cornerman's name than St. Pierre's, maybe banned for life for doing UFC shows. And that to me is huge, because that's Rashad Evans, the UFC light heavyweight champions guy. That's, you know, a top contender, and Keith, the Dean Amin Jardines guy. So him gone is real big, because to me, I think, you know, while Rashad and Keith are talented, I think, you know, the guidance of, you know, the great Greg Jackson, I should say, that's going to be missed, and I don't know how well they're going to go going with that. As I was saying, I think it's just unfortunate for, you know, St. Pierre, who, you know, in this country here of Canada, I mean, he's already a star. I mean, on Sportsnet, he was voted the Athlete of the Year, which goes to show how, you know, popular he is over here, I guess. I guess it still goes into the fact that, you know, Canadians are starving for strong athletes. I mean, you know, look at how revered Bret Hart is. I mean, like that. I mean, we don't get as high quality an athlete as, you know, the United States of America may get, or even England. You get my drift here. But still, I think it sucks, because St. Pierre was, you know, someone that worked hard all his life, you know, quit school to, you know, make money by being a garbage man, worked hard, you know, was the apple of, you know, the company's, and he's becoming like one of the top draws in the company, you know, right, not up there with Lesnar, I mean, maybe a smidge below, but still, he was, well, you know what, I should say, on par with, you know, Lesnar's and Couture's and stuff like that. I think this is just very unfortunate, especially, you know, for the UFC. They've been building up as, like, the biggest fight ever. Will it stand the test of time like that? I don't know. I still think, you know, the fight they originally built up as the biggest fight ever of Lesnar Couture will stand the test of time more so than, you know, this BJ Penn GSP fight for the welterweight championship will. But that's just my opinions. I think it's just very unfortunate to ruin, you know, something that felt epic, and, you know, that, you know, MMA could have taken that next step, but now something like this has hindered it. that sucks a lot. Do I think the decision will be reversed? As I know, the Penn camp has filed a complaint to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Do I think it'll get overturned? No, I don't think, because it's just such a high-profile fight, and it wasn't GSP knew this was happening or anything like that. So that's just my opinions there on that aspect. I don't think they'll overturn it. I think, will there be a suspension of, Greg Jackson and the other cornerman whose name I unfortunately cannot remember? Yeah, probably. Will it be for life? That I think will mean to be seen. Right now it's looking pretty strong. They may be gone from UFC events forever. So that's just my opinion there. Anyways, to wrap this video up, if you want to send me some questions, please do so. I don't have that many questions, and I would like to do a Q&A quite again soon. Let's try and broaden the Q&A here still. Love your questions on MMA, boxing, pro wrestling. I need a lot more MMA, boxing questions. I know I'm going to get some good wrestling questions, so not as reliant on that. If you still want to talk to me on AIM or MSN, send me your screen names or your Hotmail account, whatnot. I'll add you. I want a lot more, MMA, boxing fan type deals. That's just my thoughts there. I'm sure you've seen the types of questions I want. Why is the UFC, leaving all this money away for DVDs? Thoughts on, the likes of Big Van Vader, he may be the greatest big man of all time. Stuff along the lines of, what was the whole deal with the original steroid trial in the WWF? Types of shows that were not pro wrestling but tried to be pro wrestling, i.e. they had angles and storylines going on them. Just stuff like that. I think that would be, fun for me to answer. So I'm enticed by it. You're going to be entertained. There's plenty of stuff. If you ask me something about, types of shows that tried to be wrestling, you're going to see a massive rant from me, and I know a lot of people you like that. So, but anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.